Right, welcome back everybody. Okay, so we spoke about your core skills that you need or the product that you're selling. So you must understand that and then define the market. And that's a huge part of what we do is we help small and medium businesses define that, to look at the market, to see what is the product that I'm selling now or the service that I'm selling now, and what am I going to sell in the future? How do I look at the market and say, this is how we're going to attack the market. The market is unforgiving. If you do not give them what they want, they will ignore you. Basic skills, your technical skills, management skills, very important. Spend serious time developing your management skills and surround yourself with people with specialized knowledge. Third one, entrepreneurial skills. Just like most other things in life, nobody's born with entrepreneurial skills. Entrepreneurial skills is learned, and it is also a decision to be an entrepreneur. Let's just distinguish between two different things. Being an entrepreneur is a conscious decision. You take it, you decide that this is what you want to do. You want to strike out on your own, you want to make it on your own. And by the way, there's nothing on earth like a self-made man or woman. It doesn't exist. It takes a team to build a business. So the person that feels that they are self-made probably lives on a dump. They're not successful in the terms that we describe in the business world as being successful. It takes a team. And if you are lonely at the top, you're doing something wrong. Entrepreneurial skills is something that must be learned by studying success, by studying entrepreneurs, by seeing what they did, how they did it, why they did it. It doesn't help that you think that when you were 10 years old that you had a lemonade stand in front of your grandmother's house and 3 people bought from you and now suddenly you're an entrepreneur. No, it's not. And let's distinguish between two things, an entrepreneur and an intrapreneur. The one spells with an E, the one with an I. An E is the real warriors out there. They normally startups. They build something from an idea, from scratch, to a viable business. Many of them built them to be very successful businesses. Now, currently, there are in the US 22 million millionaires, dollar millionaires. The statistics say that will grow by 600,000 new dollar millionaires per year. So by 2040, there should be 100 million millionaires in the US alone. Not other countries. Now think about countries like India and China, probably Russia, Australia, and South American countries. How fast new dollar millionaires are being created? Because the way that people are starting to think. People are starting to lose that limited thinking that came through the Victoria era, through the Second World War, and they're starting to look at the world with eyes of opportunity and not just of need and want. It's important that if you want to be successful, you study success. Now let me tell you, the only place where it's romantic to be poor is in books and in novels, not in proper books, in sob stories. That's the only place where it's romantic to be poor. The old saying of money doesn't bring you happiness is a lie. Why was the lie told to you? The lie was told to you that you didn't think too much, that you would rather give up your time and your money to institutions that didn't want to work, but they just wanted your money. Now, you can connect the dots all you want to, but the fact is that everything that is worthwhile in life costs money. My mother had a saying that said, when poverty walks in the front door, love leaves out the back door. There's nothing romantic about being poor. But when you're wealthy, that's when you start to enjoy life, because that's where you start living in better conditions, you start eating better food, you start enjoying things like art and music and travel. You can send your kids to better schools, you can drive a better car, you can fly more, you can do all those kind of things. And what does money do? It buys you time. And that's the one thing, that there is a finite amount for every human being. In the last 2 years, the US government has printed $13 trillion. Trillion dollars. Now, let me put it in perspective for you. You can go and work it out if you want to. 1 million seconds is 11 days. 1 billion seconds is 31 years. So now you can go and try and work out, it's about 560 years, 1 trillion seconds. So money is not finite. There's tons of money in the world, tons. But if you don't know the rules of money, you're never going to access it. And everything in life works according to rules, everything. It's important that you study success. Entrepreneurial skills is the art of coming up with new solutions for old problems. Remember this, most people will rather live with old problems than new solutions. That's why the daughters of alcoholics marry alcoholics, because they know how to deal with it. If you want to be a successful entrepreneur, you have to break that cycle. You have to break that cycle of limited thinking, of small thinking, of doing work for people because you actually just want to be liked. Being liked doesn't buy anything. If you don't value your own service or product, why would you expect somebody else to value it? So it's important that you understand that entrepreneurial skills are something that you have to work at. Again, it's specialized knowledge. You have to go after it with everything that you've got. And you know what? People that's been very successful is always very willing to share that. Living and dead. The dead, they share that in books. Go and read it. Do not be one of those people that say, oh no, since university or since school I haven't read a book. I don't read. And wear it as a medal of honor. Now again, Mark Twain said, he who doesn't read has no advantage over he that cannot read. You're ignorant. You spend your time in front of the TV or playing Xbox games or PlayStation or whatever you do. If you want to be successful in business and in life, you have to be a constant learner. Without learning, you will never grow. Don't think because you are 6'5" and you weigh 150 kilos or whatever, now you're a big man. It's the amount of exercise you give your brain that you can grow and understand the working of this universe. That is what makes people successful, not the brawn. If it was for brawn, every trench digger would be a billionaire. And it goes to hard work. If you want to work hard, if you want to do physical hard work, I know why. Because then you don't have to think. Henry Ford said, thinking is the hardest job of all. That's why so few people partake in it. And that's why I love going to the farm, because all I do there is manual labor. I don't have to think. Running a business like this and all my other businesses, it's hard work. It's a lot of thinking, because you have to think entrepreneurial all the time. You have to think 5 steps ahead. And the question that I ask people is, what is your next 5 steps? Have you defined your next 5 steps? Have you thought about it? Or you just gonna, sun is up. What do we do today? No. You have to be always 5 steps ahead of the market. That's your entrepreneurial skill. That's your entrepreneurial thoughts. And again, you must surround yourself with people that do that. If you're in your 30s and your friendship ring is not discussing business and looking after yourself and how you're going to grow as a person, you're in the wrong crowd. If they're just still discussing other people and how much they drank last weekend and how late they slept, you are in the wrong group, because those are parasites. Those are not people that is there to grow themselves, and they're definitely not going to grow you. Probably one of the most important things when it comes to success was said by Jim Rohn. He said that you are the average of the 5 people you spend your most time with. Now go and think about that for a second. And do an exercise. Go and write down the 5 people that you spend your most time with, and parents doesn't count. Parents and siblings doesn't count. But people that you've intentionally sought out, people that you call your friends, people that's your reference point. And you ask yourself, what is your personal income level that you really want? And then you go and write down what each of those people's income levels are at the moment. Divide it by 5 and see what the average is. Is it higher or lower than what your expectation is at the moment? And in 5 years' time, what is their ambition like? What do they do for self-care? Because remember, that earth suit that you're in, that body that you've got, is not replaced at 50. You don't get a new one. And if you don't have health, you cannot create wealth. It's impossible. Sick people has never created wealth. But trust me, when you're sick, you want wealth. But life is more than just working. So what is in that group of your 5 people that you spend your most time with, are they talking about a critical number that is called your financial independent number? What does it mean? It means how much money do you need to be financially independent? If you decide tomorrow that you're going to tour the world's greatest surfing sites for the next 6 months, can you do that without worrying? What is your financial independent number? Those 5 people, are they talking about that? Is it important? Do they even know that it exists? Or are they working, are they hanging in there to work for a corporate for 40 years, retire when they're 65 and die at 70? You must ask those questions. And that is where entrepreneurial skill set come in. It is an intentional way that you change the way you think, that change the way that you associate, and you change the way that you want to emulate. There's been lots of rich people, very rich people that in today's terms had trillions of dollars. There's lots of examples to study. How much time are you studying successful entrepreneurs to emulate what they did, or to learn from how they attacked a problem and it turned it into an opportunity? Go and think of that. See you in the next one.